to the mother building her own wealth. Somewhere along the way, women were taught that motherhood and ambition could not exist in the same body. That if she wanted more, she was selfish. And if she wanted money, she was shallow. If she wanted freedom, beauty, rest, success, luxury, time to herself, she somehow loved her children less. And a lot of mothers internalized that. So they learned to minimize themselves, to say, I'm fine, even when they were drowning, to convince themselves they didn't really care about wealth, didn't really care about success, didn't really want more, because wanting more felt dangerous. It threatened the image of the good mother, the selfless mother, the endlessly available mother, the mother who survives on scraps and calls it love. But something about that never sat right with her. Because deep down, she knew her desires were not the problem. The shame around them was. And honestly, she got tired. Tired of pretending exhaustion was noble. Tired of acting like burnout was just a part of motherhood. Tired of carrying everyone else while secretly fantasizing about disappearing for a week just to breathe again. And maybe that's the moment everything changed. The moment she realized she did not want a life built on survival anymore. She wanted peace, choice, overflow, beauty, space to think, space to rest, space to hear herself again. Not because she hated motherhood, but because she finally understood that motherhood was never supposed to consume her whole identity. And no, wanting wealth does not make her less spiritual, less feminine, less nurturing, less maternal. If anything, it makes her more honest, because her financial freedom changes things. It changes how a woman moves, how she rests, how she chooses, and how she loves. There is something powerful about a woman who no longer has to betray herself to survive. A woman who can pay her own bills, a woman who can leave environments that drain her, a woman who can create a beautiful life without asking permission for it. And maybe people don't talk enough about how healing that actually is, especially for mothers, because children, they feel everything. They feel resentment, they feel depletion, they feel the silent grief of a woman who abandoned herself so deeply she forgot she was allowed to dream too. But they also feel peace. They feel a mother who is alive, a mother who laughs again, a mother who creates, a mother who receives, and a mother who no longer carries struggle like it's a proof of love. And maybe that's the deeper shift. She stopped glorifying suffering, stopped wearing exhaustion like a badge of honor, stopped believing her worth was tied to how much she could endure without collapsing. Now, she lets herself want more life, more softness, more support, more beauty, more abundance. Not from greed, from remembrance. Because somewhere underneath the conditioning, underneath the guilt, underneath the fear of being too much, she remembered who she was. A woman, a creator, a mother, a force. And she no longer sees wealth as something separate from motherhood. She sees it as a part of her wholeness, because there is nothing noble about a woman disappearing inside struggles. And maybe wealth was never just about money anyway. Maybe it was about this: a woman finally believing she is worthy of a fully lived life.